Hello. It's almost the board exam, and as for today's content, I picked this one. So, isms in a nutshell. What do we mean by in a nutshell? Ibig sabihin nun is pinaikli, okay? Like the most basic, simple explanation of some of the isms of education. So, I only included those very common na lumalabas sa board exam, okay? So, what are they about ba talaga if we are confused? By the way, to give everyone a hint, so we can start with this one. So, isms, yung ano ba yun? Existentialism, idealism, isms tawag natin dun, just to shorten it. So, they are what we call the philosophy of education. So, kapag philosophy, it is like a specific belief, okay? Uh, it's where the heart of education is. So, ano ba yung purpose, definition, para saan ba yung education? So, there are a lot of philosophies about education, and we will tackle few of them, okay? So let's start with the very first one, and also I included yung ano ba keywords, okay, that are very common and that they usually come out, and the fact that kung makuha mo lang yung idea, you can definitely understand the entirety of it if if you try to internalize the situation that is given in the question, okay? Anyway, let's start. So the very common one is the essentialism. Essentialism. So from the word essential, ibig sabihin importante, yung pinaka-basic, yung foundation ng ating pag-aaral or ating pagkatuto. So without the essentials, you don't know anything, diba? So in education, for example, laging, kine-question yung 3 Rs. Hindi yun reduce, reuse, recycle. Okay. Um, reading, writing, and arithmetic. So, arithmetic. How to say that one? So, those are the foundation ng ating pag-aaral, right? Like, if you don't know how to read, to write, or to do basic math, basically, you cannot proceed, diba? So, that's what mostly essentialism is about. So, kaya nga yung teacher palaging nagpapa-homework, she always wants to do, or they always want to do drills. So, that is for us to master our basic subjects or basic skills, okay? So, that's where essentialism is mostly about. So, yung i-discuss ko again, because since this is in a nutshell lang, yung just like the center mostly of the philosophy, okay? So essentialism from the word essential, yung basic subjects. Now, let's move on naman to perennialism. So ano ba? This is like a bit, no, not very, we don't use this word very often. So if you say perennialism, that is universal. Kapag sinasabi mo kasing perennial, like even after how many centuries, a fact, it's still a fact. So unchanging truth. So for example, if the teacher wants the students to focus studying on history, valuing history, so that might be siguro yung heart ng kanyang pagtuturo is all about perennialism. It's because we cannot change history, diba? So universal, unchanging truth. Kapag dyan naka-center yung pag-aaral, then that's about perennialism, okay? So from the word perennial. All right. Next, let's move on. Progressivism. So hindi ko na include, but I think it's very obvious. The word progress. Progress. Okay. So this talks about the process of improving and developing. So teachers here will do experimentation as to which part, anong dapat improve sa bata, is it the character of the kid, and then they will try a series of steps as to how to develop that area. So progressivism, okay? So dyan naman yung focus nila. So again, we've discussed, this is the third one. Ano yun? Essentialism, essential, the basics. Perennialism, yung unchanging truth, right? Na kahit ilang taon yung dumaan, it's still a fact. And progressivism, or the progress, the process of improving. Now let's move on to the next one. My videos are short. I like it, Anyway, a social reconstructionism from the word social, right? So this involves the relationships that we have with our communities. So ito yung relationship ng school, tsaka yung community, how to transform to make the society better. Kapag yan yung topic, then usually it's about social reconstructionism. And yeah, sometimes they will add, for example, the worldwide democracy. So part yan ng, pag-improve ng society natin, or ng individuals as a community. So again, if it talks about bettering the society, reconstructing it, so it's about education. The philosophy it holds is about social reconstructionism, okay? Next one, okay, existentialism. So yung keyword ko dito na I always try to relate to it is the words I exist. What does that mean? Ibig sabihin, yung bata is meron siyang own preference, own choice. Okay? So for example, I mean, yung keywords natin are unique, right? Individually, different. And then, so kapag yung bata meron, or for example, the teacher in the class is trying to get the student's opinion about something. So the teacher is more of like an existentialist kasi pinakikinggan niya, vina-value na, ina-appreciate niya yung options, opinions, choices ng mga bata, okay? So recognizing the individuality of the kids, that's existentialism, okay? Next one, behaviorism. Ito yung palaging nandyan sa board exam. So it's all about how the environment is actually shaping the character or the well-being of the kid. So it's about reinforcement, rewards, conditioning the student's behavior. So, right, for example, if the teacher likes to give stars or rewards or punishments, so maybe she is a behaviorist teacher, diba? So naniniwala siya na yung nakapaligid sa bata can help shape who the bata is or who he is, okay? So it's all about the environment. So nandito na sila, B.F. Skinner, Ivan Pavlov. I really want to talk about them too. I'll have them in a separate content, okay? I always run out of time to do my things. Anyway, pragmatism naman. This talks about practicality, yung mga everyday practice, okay? So kapag yung teacher, yung focus niya is ano yung natutunan today, i-apply agad sa daily life, then the teacher mostly is a pragmatist, or yung philosophy of education niya is pragmatism. So usually this is about life and growth. Let me check nga. All right, pragmatism. So actually this is also, yeah. So, yun na nga, practical application, di ba? I just looked for the keyword that I forgot. So, practical application of things that you just learned, okay? So, ano ulit yun? We talked about pragmatism, practical application. So, anong natutunan? Apply agad. Behaviorism, it's about how the environment helps shape the child. Social reconstructionism, so it's more about the relationship of the school and the community and how to better, okay, the nation or whatever. So, yep. And let's move on. Idealism. So this is usually abstract, right? So I've heard there's this question na tinatanong kung, well, what do you want to be like in the future? So technically daw, yung teacher dyan is an idealist kasi, more on ideas siya. So ibig sabihin ng abstract, guys, we cannot touch, we cannot see, okay? So nasa isip lamang. So usually if it's about like spirituality, faith, diba? Beauty, usually idealism lang yon, okay? And then let's proceed. Humanism. So it's about like the entirety of being human, how to live life to the fullest, how we like this time the teacher sees us to our like the center of the teacher's education is, she tries to make the students see themselves as a whole person and how to make the best out of life. So ganon yung usually or focus ng humanism. I think this is the last one. All right. Now we will have the drills. I will be giving you at least 10 seconds to answer questions. Okay, let's start. Number 1. So one of teacher H's students is questioned. What do you want to be when you grow up? At nandito na nga. What type of philosophy is indicated by this query? Is it A, B, C, or D? You can comment your answers. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that is, dahil nasabi ko nga, di ba? So anyway, it's idealism. Kasi when you grow up, so they're still imagining the things that they might want to be, di ba? By the way, if you have items or if you have topics that you want me to discuss, you just comment it down, okay? Next one. In order to encourage his pupils to consider them and make their own decisions about whether to embrace them or not, Teacher M constantly discusses principles and values in his class. What school of thought does he follow? So school of thought, guys, it is synonymous with like the philosophy, okay? So in the board exam, there are a lot of synonyms used. So we have to like be familiar with them. For example, yung word na focus. Minsan yung gagamitin doon ay focal point, di ba? If you don't know what that is, then that could be tragic. So be sure to be familiarized with some of them. Anyway, answer natin is, so is it A, B, C, or D in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1? That is, okay. So make their own decisions. That's the keyword, right? About whether to embrace them or not. Ano nga yun? I exist, diba? So I have my own opinion. I can make my own decision. It's existentialism, okay? Next one. Basic abilities like reading, writing, and math are given priority in the Philippine elementary school curriculum. What philosophical foundation exists for this? Is it A, B, C, or D? So, kapag wala yung foundation, anong mangyayari? What's your answer? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Na actually, kahit nga yung basic necessities natin, tinatawag silang essentials, di ba? Kapag bumabagyo or, you know, like, we're giving relief goods, so inuuna talaga yung essentials. So it's the same with education. We should learn first the essentials before we proceed to the more complicated topic or subject areas, okay? Now, answer is, of course, essentialism. You're correct. And let's move on. Teacher A discovers that learning never stops after receiving her degree in education. In reality, she gains greater information after exiting her alma mater's door. What type of philosophy does this represent? Is it A, B, C, or D? Wow, I think I did not talk about constructivism, no? But actually, there's still a lot na hindi ko na discuss. So I might have part 2 of this one. Answer is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's progressivism. Again, ongoing growth, diba? So, na-discover ni teacher na kahit na gumraduate na siya ng college, hindi ibig sabihin stop na yung learning niya. It goes beyond, right? Outside the 4 doors of the classroom, kahit natapos ka na mag-aral, kahit na yung mga postgraduate, ano ba tawag sa kanila? So, they're still learning. So, ongoing growth, that is the progressivism, okay? Process of developing yourself. And I think this is the last one. All right. So, making the best out of your life is a philosophy Matilda supports. She does support a certain school of thought, but which one? Making the best out of your life. Is it A, B, C, or D? In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The answer po is, I think I did not include it. Oh, look at that. But anyway, sagot dito is, hindi ko pala na-write yung tamang sagot. Humanism. Okay, so make the most out of your life. Yan yung center ng philosophy na ito. All right, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And yep, so I will be having, if you want to learn more about some, so you can comment it down and I'll try to search about it, learn about it, and also make a content about it. Okay, So you will be an LPT soon. Trust me. Bye.